lay the hands on you. Don't do these things to other people. I require the same from them.
What up, y'all? How y'all doing? Welcome to the spin. Another day, another blessing. Happy Sunday. I'm glad all you. Hope everybody's well. Prayers out to everybody who's sick and afflicted, or if you have any drama or anything like that. And welcome if you're new. Welcome if you're not. Welcome if you're not new. Welcome all creeds, colors, and all that. Wow, man. It's something. Very, very something. The way society has, I can say, evolved and devolved in a lot of ways. Just a carefree world. For the most part, was a carefree world. But life just pulls our reins and bring us more grounded. For some people, it doesn't. Still in that carefree zone. I sit there and I watch as I'm walking down these streets of the United States of America, and also include walking the streets of the world. If you really want to, if you can come into my head and see my lifetime, you know, I see things very differently. Not differently as in eccentric, which people like to sit there and put everything in a label, but open-minded, but also have the understanding of the order of things. In 2003, I was in Miami Beach. I lived off of Collins. Lived on the 7th floor. I used to sit inside the little lounge area and stuff like that in front of the beach. It was on the inside, you know. The beach was cool to look at, but I think I went on the beach or probably about like 5 or 6 times for the years I was there in Florida. But it was always cool to me because I just sat down, or it's my window, looked out my balcony, and I seen the beach. But I never really just went on it, man. I just enjoyed it and just breathed the air, you know, and just thought. One day I sat there. I was already just coming off of doing corporate marketing and stuff like that. Working at Mango's, you know, entertaining people like I've always loved to do. But I had an epiphany. And this epiphany happened. What was funny was I looked on the calendar because I was doing some paperwork. And while I was doing the paperwork, I had to go, you know, put my birth date in it. So I put in September 2nd, 1972. And I seen that it was on a Sunday, and it just triggered a memory. And it was a memory of the time I got baptized. September 2nd, 2001. Turned 29 that year before I turned 30. Days later, 9/11. And my total perspective in life just changed. Completely changed. From all I've done, all my travels, everything just paused. I was in basic training then. But back in 2003, I mean, it wasn't in basic, excuse me. I was thinking of Desert Storm. That was another period in my life, but I'll talk about that some other time. My bad, Joe Biden moment. But it changed my whole perspective of marketing. I was a corporate marketer. Um, Changed my whole perspective of the world. I had to question why. You know, why? All my life, why? I questioned everything because we as people, we the people, we all were on that same plane. Why? Why did this happen to us? Why did we get attacked? In my world, as I think about it as a man, maybe if somebody else if somebody else thought the same thing, why now? Everybody had their little spin on things, on the reason why, trying to find reasons, answers, trying to find their truth instead of, or our truth, with me included in that equation. What it really supposed to be the truth. Man, 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 man. If only we really knew. The only thing we can do is sit here and just speculate. They sit there and call it conspiracy theory. But I look back, and back then I really didn't know nothing. Now I know something, but I don't know everything. Just something. That's the way I look at things. I just know something. A little something about everything. Any type of conversation. But while I was sitting in that area that I was looking by the beach, I wrote a poem. It was my first poem I've ever really written. It was all my questions, all my questions and some of my answers. And all this time up to 2020, 18 years, it blossomed into many, 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 many meanings, a plethora of meanings, a plethora of moments, plethora of experiences, and a plethora of thought. It's like I seen things coming. And it was like calling me. The poem went like this. I performed it a lot when I was in Vegas. But now I'm like, okay, this poem blossomed into a lot of things that even I can't even articulate. But this is just, for the title of this is just one aspect of what I seen. Revolution, glorious revolution. This revolution is televised. Revolution, glorious revolution. This revolution is televised. For I am righteous, I'm striving for perfection. For I am poor, poor being righteous because we all fall short of the kingdom of God and his righteousness. For I'm a teacher, teaching to the best of my ability, even though I am poor at being righteous. Revolution, glorious revolution. This revolution is televised. Good evening, ladies and gents. What I vent with the intent to stimulate y'all's mentals, using art with words similar to those subliminals, giving neurotic trembles as I sizzle this poetic shit on skillets. As I walk down these streets, I'm taking these mental pictures. I'm steadily writing these scriptures on CDs, MP3s, and soon DVDs. Yo, it's like Dolby Digital C and 3D like you've never seen. Because this thing we call poetry gives me the amnesty to express my thoughts philosophically as I recall and reminisce the words of Socrates. I drank what? A dead poet who surrounded himself with life, not death, circumcised from society. I write these poems that gives me the benefits, which sharpens my mentals and keeps my spirit from going adrift. Yeah, I smoke that chronic, but never beyond it when I'm steady corresponding as I rewrite ebonics. Different polarities of hip-hop, different polarities of poetry. And that's just like a little snippet. Just those few words. And one verse of it came that I felt like I was trapped inside of a glass cube, circumcised from society. That really stuck inside my head, and I skipped a lot on purpose. Because sometimes when we walk these streets, it's hard to sit there and articulate what we feel and what we see, what we know, what we aspire to do, what we thought in the past, and what we have learned. It was a freedom, you know? But as it goes, this was just 2003. We didn't have Facebook, social media, or anything like that. Cell phones cost a lot of money. Little inklings of VR chips and all that stuff like that. The old school Alex Jones flicks and the little HTML videos that we had back in the day when things was still running on Windows 95 or Windows 2000 and XP. Wow. The very birth of the internet world. The dot bombers, business, all this stuff, booming. Yeah, Google, Yahoo, everybody just trying to do their things because this invention called DOS that was made by Bill Gates. It helped connect the world. New ways of advertising, video, audio, and WAV files, MP3s to MP4s, on and on and on. Chat box, Google Cities. The first time we can talk to people live from all over the world, all over the country. People were communicating, learning, getting closer to 9/11. Lots of questions, no answers, only speculations, hypotheses. What the government back in the 1960s called conspiracy theories, which wasn't even a word before the 1960s. But hypothesis, only thing we can do to speculate and give our educated guesses. Then came MySpace, the first social network. Never been on, been in. People be putting their music, videos, shows. I was in Las Vegas living the life, yada, yada, yada. Entertainment world, local artists. Got to meet some celebrities, you know, and using the internet, texting. Then came in proximity marketing and all this stuff like that, using Bluetooth. And I skipped the situation. We were just using beepers and Nokia brick cell phones, mini bricks, to smartphones. By the background, there was this thing called LifeLog. LifeLog, a company, if you sat there, you actually look it up. I think you find a little bit about it in Google, you know. And if you go like Duck and Go, maybe you'll find some more in Bing. But I'd go like the Brave browser, you know. Even look on Safari. I'm sure you'll see LifeLog, but it was ran by the NSA. And then there was a student. Student came to play. Mark Zuckerberg invented this thing called Facebook. Wow. YouTube was in its infant stages of being popular, you know. I mean, it was just a cool thing just to do crazy stuff on. That's what YouTube was. Everybody had fun until some people went, we can actually make our own content. Then when it goes to independent film, and then news and reporting and investigative reporting, and all these little stories and little nuggets that we find, they just set them aside, saying it's all conspiracy theory. Interesting. 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006. I think back in the day, I even debunked Saul Jones, like Frank Hobble did Einstein. You know. And the reason being I say that because people think, I don't know. I mean, it's like people think that time is to waste, or probably don't even know what time is. Only thing I know that time is linear. It's a dimension, and we see in 3, or we should. You know. But if we can look at ourselves from a third person and see ourselves for our actions, that would be like looking inside a mirror, wouldn't it? Now, as it sits there and goes down, we're here in 2020. The whole world is in chaos. Everybody worried about a virus. Everybody worried about the everything. Just worried about everything on this planet. Everybody worried about their image or what people think. And that's the real sad thing about it, that people in generalization, just for what people think, you know, it's people live by that. Like another person's opinion really defines your destiny, when it's just your own actions and what you think that defines your own destiny. the tech industry found a way to sit there and take advantage of that, like a form of like MK Ultra or whatever you may whatever you may think it is, or whatever I may think it is, but we can all find out. And it's kind of sorry, Tara. I can't really do that at the moment. Because once I will open it up. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, and give you some more, and then have everybody have their own opinions. I got something for y'all. But as it sit there and goes, and we have this big tech industry, and I go back to, hold 1 second, I have to do something real quick. Important message and stuff. Hold on 1 second. Go on my page. On my page, I am live. Anyways, back to the nature at hand. Sorry about that. As it sits there and goes, back to LifeLog, Facebook came out. All of our information, just from a contract from Mr. Zuckerberg with the government, from the NSA, the same day that LifeLog stopped. Hold on. Sorry about that. Oops. But anyway, sorry about that. But now we're into a problem that we can't even have our own free thought. Hold on. Then our train of thought, our very freedoms, our very not accepting people for who they are, and not knowing how to accept people within reason, within boundaries, a respect. I mean, it's something that we're missing in society. Something that's not being taught. And the tech industry just used that weakness. And now here we are. Truth's coming out. Some want to believe it. Some don't. I remember the first time I was, taken off the internet was back in 2017 in August. The same day Alex Jones got kicked off. And I mean, and this was when my idea of this show, the spin came up inside my head. And I'm not, as I said, I'm not trying to promote this or anything like that. Not right now, you know. And I've always wanted my channel to be something different, you know, or just a log of my thoughts, of my ambitions, of things that, you know, that people don't really look at but should. But I always knew from watching everything called conspiracy theory, oh, the censorship is coming, 1984, Orwell, and all that good stuff. And Brave New World, you know, and I didn't really believe it. But I believed it, but I was skeptical. But that's when Trump came and started all this stuff, the Russia collusion. But I didn't believe none of that either because a lot of stuff was coming true then. Then came the Q posts. And then I'm just watching all this plays out until now that we get censorship, that we get censored. Had posts censored. Had then, after that, my Facebook's just taken away, taken off. And then my Twitter was taken off. And I never preached hate, not toward anybody, which was very fascinating. You know, should I say it on a lighter note? Very, very fascinating to me. But in between all that, you know, the right and the wrong is right, and all that stuff like that, you know, it came to looking, studying, finding out Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, Sally Yates, Brenner, Mossad, all these names. There's so many, man. You gotta go to the professionals to even, you know what I'm saying? It's so much to remember and so many things I look at, man, that sometimes I just get overloaded because there's so much information. But when you sit there and project the information, you're sitting there trying to tell the truth and what's happening, then they'll sit there and cut you off. And then now it's coming up like plain as day is right is like up is down and down is up. Good is evil and evil is good. Everything's just a group of people it's all in reverse. Everything is inverted. You know? Inverted. And it's crazy. What I'm about to show you is a video. And it's a video that I'd like to talk about as our topic. Some things that we really gotta take a look at. Where we are. These eyes in the sky. Big brother. I mean, this is the next battle. The battle for our own privacy. Fourth Amendment rights. You know what I'm saying? The power of the corporations, which we really, really got to sit there and watch. Selling of our information. Through our cell phones, our Lexus, computer, laptops, smart TVs, all that, everything that we sit there and we have around us. Recording, watching your every move, your check-ins and all that stuff that you do online, being monitored, the emails, all that stuff like that. Under the guise of selling you a product, advertising and all that, but meanwhile storing all your information. Imagine all your information being used against you on who you are. Really, imagine that. Imagine information that this information, right, that you've made, your pictures and all that stuff like that, being taken away. Let's check this out. Let's learn something.
They can see everything about you. They can see everything about what your device is doing, and they can do whatever they want with your device. You, on the other hand, own the device. Well, rather, you paid for the device. But increasingly these corporations own it, increasingly these governments own it, and increasingly we are living in a world where we do all the work, right? We pay all the taxes, we pay all the costs, but we own less and less. And nobody understands this better than the youngest generation. That happens as a result of a single problem. And that problem is an inequality of available information. We have a problem, guys. This should be a much more simple process. It should be obvious. And the fact that it's not, and the fact that we read story after story, year after year, saying all your data has been breached here, this company's spying on you here, this company's manipulating your purchases or your search results, or they're hiding these things from your timeline, or they're influencing you or manipulating you in all these different ways. They built a satellite listening site, right? We call these foreign satellite collection. Where out in the desert somewhere, they built a big parabolic collector, and it's just listening to satellite emissions, right? But these satellite emissions, these satellite links, were owned by militaries. They were exclusive to governments, right? It wasn't affecting everybody broadly. All surveillance was targeted because it had to be. What changed with technology is that surveillance could now become indiscriminate. It could become dragnet. It could become bulk collection, which should become one of the dirtiest phrases in language, if we had any kind of decency. But we were intentionally, this was intentionally concealed from us, right? The government did it, they used classification. Companies did it, they intentionally didn't talk about it, they denied these things were going. They said, you agreed to this, and you didn't agree to nothing like this. I'm sorry, right? They go, we put that terms of service page up, and you clicked that. You clicked a button that said, I agree, because you were trying to open an account so you could talk to your friends. You were trying to get driving directions. You were trying to get an email account. You weren't trying to agree to some 600-page legal form that even if you read, you wouldn't understand. And it doesn't matter even if you did understand, because one of the very first paragraphs in it said, this agreement can be changed at any time unilaterally without your consent by the company, right? They have built a legal paradigm that presumes records collected about us do not belong to us. This is sort of one of the core principles on which mass surveillance, from the government's perspective in the United States, is legal. And you have to understand that all the stuff we talk about today, the government says everything we do is legal, right? And they go, so it's fine. Our perspective as a public should be, well, that's actually the problem, because this isn't okay.
Hold on 1 second. I'm running through. I want to tell you what. Let me sit there and come back tomorrow. I'll be seeing something on my screen. I'll be back later on. I'll check y'all out in a minute.